When Conservatives warn about the increased cost of fuel prices, the Prime Minister actually said that this is exactly what he wanted. While millionaire Liberals like Justin Trudeau may want higher gas prices, hardworking Canadian families definitely do not.
All in. It's January 1st, but I'm telling you right now, Aaron, what he signaled today in that news conference is he's putting all his chips in the middle of the table, and he is betting the entire federal election on the carbon tax. He's running against it, and he thinks that will be a referendum issue that will get him into 21st Sussex.
And do you think he will be successful?
No, I don't. I don't for a whole variety of issues. I'm not certain he's going to win the framing battle. I also think other issues will intervene. I think the fundamental strategy he has here is trying to turn this into a single issue election. I don't think that's going to be successful. I think that people's views on climate change are complicated. They're layered. They're regionally diverse. So I think that trying to just null this down into, let's not talk about whether Trudeau's better than me or I'm better than Trudeau. Let's not talk about the broader hint and arc of the economy. Let's just talk about this tax. I don't think that's going to work. It's not going to scam with people.
That's the epicenter. It's not carbon taxation. That's not a populist winner for the Conservatives.
No, it's there. As I said a second ago, that climate change isn't a winner with people who fall into the populist camp. They feel that the economy trumps climate change by quite a margin. I mean, these are people who are struggling economically, who feel that for the most part they're worse off than they were a year ago, who think the next generation is not going to do better than they themselves are doing. Oddly enough, it's a lot of young males who fall into this populist group. They voted very heavily for Doug Ford in the Ontario election. So, you know, they see economic pessimism and they see climate change as competing with that.
Is this the message? Is this going to be the ballot box question that Scheer's got to hammer home, or is there going to be other ones?
Well, they've been working on this one for a while, Don, and the idea of running an election on a new gasoline tax. There are many others who have tried and failed over the years. It's not that popular. Look, the danger for the Conservatives and for Scheer on running on this kind of platform is at some point, one would think, the Liberals will go on the offensive, and it won't be that difficult to paint Scheer and the Conservatives as the Neanderthals, that what they're really talking about is not doing anything about climate change. It's not about a gas tax at all. You know, the other message that has to get out there is the only reason the Liberals are having to impose this tax is because Doug Ford and other Conservative governments are folding their arms and saying, we're not going to do anything about climate change. If they can seed that message out there, I think the Conservatives are going to find themselves talking just to their own, and they will miss out on that magic middle that they need to get of Liberal votes.
It can't just be enough for the Conservatives to hope that vote splits win them this election. I think there's an onus on Mr. Scheer, there's an onus on the Conservative Party to put forward a positive, aspirational vision, agenda that can compete with Mr. Trudeau in the Liberal Party. I think if I have one major criticism of Mr. Scheer and the Conservatives to date is that they've been too oppositional, too negative, too dark, I think too hard-headed. I think there's a need for them to start painting a much more positive picture about the opportunity, about social mobility, about the types of things I think that where Conservatives have something positive to say to Canadians.
I agree with everything that Sean has said. That aspirational vision is important. The other thing he's going to need, and how's this for a brilliant strategic advice? Luck. He's going to need luck. History's against him. It's very common. In fact, it has been the norm, bar one exception, I believe, for governments that were elected once with a majority. They are rarely ever not re-elected a second go around. So history is against him there. Justin Trudeau needs to have another bad year if Andrew Scheer is going to be able to win. Doesn't mean it won't happen, but certainly those factors which are hard to calculate and plan for are things that Scheer needs.